Namaste, Periyavasharanam. Welcome to this next episode of Karunasagaram. So today we are going to take a fresh look or a different perspective at Maitrim Bhajata, the Divine Benediction by Sri Mahaswami. So we will spend a few minutes to understand this new perspective, and then today we are also going to see the video clips from the original footage recorded by the Films Division of India, where we can see Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi performing this song at the United Nations and the resulting reception that she received. Now let's get back into Maitrim Bhajata. This benediction starts with this word Maitrim, which means friendship. Celebrate friendship. That's the advice he starts with. Now we might think there are a bunch of words or synonyms for friendship. Why has Mahaswami chosen this particular word, Maitrim, the root of which is Mitra? Mitra means friend and Maitrim here means friendship. So if we think a little deeper, then we will understand the potential answer to it. In fact, parts of this answer is also found in Mahaswami's discourses about Sanatana Dharma. So what we gather from there is that this word Mitra means two things. One, it can be used to mean a friend. And second, as per Vedas and the Vedanta, in many places it is specifically used to indicate Surya or the sun god. So why would Mahaswami use this particular word here, which could really mean either the sun god or a friend? The answer is simple. The sun god is so well known as a universal god for everybody across many civilizations, and that is something he has specifically written about. In fact, he gives us references from various writings on world culture and history where we can understand that the worship of sun god was a prevalent practice across the entire world. There were no exceptions, literally. In fact, it was a time when the Sanatana Dharma was the only, so to say, civilization, because it was not a religion, it was a way of life. The Sanatana Dharma was the only way of life that was practiced all around the world. And hence, as part of it, almost everyone was engaged in worshipping the sun god. And the sun god, specifically, Vedas use this word Mitra to indicate him. And that particular name of Mitra has been used widely in most of these civilizations when they refer to this kind of worshipping the sun. Let's just look at a couple of examples. The first one is a treaty text signed between the powerful kingdom of Mitanni and the Hittite king. This was way back in 14th century BC. So in this particular treaty text, we can see the name of Mitra. While the kingdom of Mitanni was situated in the north of Armenian plateau, we also see a similar reference in another treaty text that has been found in Egypt. This also is about 1300 years before Christ. And here it is the Treaty of Ramses II, in which again it is mentioned as this has been signed and will be held to truth under the watchful eyes of Mitra Varna. In fact, Egypt, boasting one of the ancient civilizations, till date has the worship of the god called Amun-Ra. And Amun is none other than sun god. And in the olden days, as we see in the Treaty of Ramses II, clearly he has been called by the specific name of Mitra itself. So, while today we get to know about a lot of inscriptions being found, or a lot of Shivalingas, or the Murti of God Vinayaka being found across many parts of the world, one thing will never be disputed, and that is the worship of sun god across various civilizations. That has never been in question, and it will never be in doubt. So why did Vedas start calling the sun god as Mitra? That's the question now that we are going to answer. As a matter of fact, the answer is very simple, and it lies in what the sun god really does for us. One look at him and we will know that he has got all the light that the world would ever need. Secondly, he can produce enough amount of heat which can even consume the whole world. But what does he do? He gives us enough amount of light for us to do our daily occupation, for us to stay fresh, for us to stay alive. And then when it is time for us to retire and get some sleep, he cuts off the light. Similarly, in the matter of producing heat, he does not blast us with all the heat to consume the world. He gives only as much that is necessary for us to stay alive, and at the same time for all the plants and trees to produce good amount of fruits, flowers and such other things that's necessary for our daily lives. So that way, if we look at it, we know that he has got enough potential to give much more than what he is now showing in terms of the light and heat, but he controls them and gives it in such a way that we will not be overpowered or consumed by the enormity of the light and heat. So clearly, he is being a nice, true friend whom we can count on every single day, right? When at the appointed time, he will come up and he will provide all that is needed for our lives, for us to stay alive, and then he goes back to give us some rest. Now, what does he get in return from us? Nothing. Practically, a lot of us who are supposed to be doing Sandhya Vandana, which is a ritual, we are supposed to be giving oblations to the sun god. But how many of us do? Not many. And even those who do, they do not understand the value of doing this particular ritual. Now, if we look at it in the right perspective, we will understand that the sun god is doing all this like a duty without any expectation in return. Is that not the sign of a true friend? A friend in need? That's really why Vedas proclaim the sun god as Mitra, because he is the true Mitra for every creature on earth, whether it is plants, animals, insects or humans. For all of us, the one true friend that we all look up to, and in fact, the only one who will always be reliable as a true friend. So that's really why the word Mitra is applied to him, and clearly that word is known across different cultures of the world and everybody can relate to that. So which is why Sri Mahaswami has chosen the word Mitra as the first word of his benediction. So whenever we say Maitrim Bhajata, we must think of celebrating friendship, and in thinking so, we should also understand that Mitra, the true friend, is the sun god, and we must make it a point that we offer our salute and oblation to the sun god without fail every single day, because he is the real true friend. And if all of us look at him as a true friend and celebrate him, then the whole world will come back into being one single family, forgetting all the other divisions amongst us. So that's one new perspective I wanted to communicate. Secondly, we also spoke in detail about the words Damyata Datta Dayadhvam. Now, if we look at how this song has been composed, another interesting perspective evolves. Let's see how. So the first line, he talks about Maitrim Bhajata Akila Hridjetrim. Celebrate friendship which can conquer all hearts. And then the next couple of lines, in fact the next 3 lines, you can say Atmavati eva paranapi pashyata yuddham tejata spardham tejata tejata pareshva kramamakramanam. So if you think about this, all these lines are clearly explanations of the word Damyata, which truly meant keep your senses in check and keep a control over your desires. And that's exactly what our Mahaswami has explained in these very 3 lines. While these lines almost had injunctions, stopping us from doing certain things, saying, Yuddham Tyajata, leave Yuddham, don't engage in competition, all these don'ts were there. The next line actually gets into what you should do, which is where Janani Prithvi Kamadughaste. He talks about the Mother Earth, which is so kind and always giving much more than what we would ever need. So this point basically reaffirms the advice of Datta. On this specific point, Mahaswami reminds us of Mother Earth and is advising us to engage in charity. Datta. And the next line, Janako Devaha Sakala Dayaluhu. Clearly, the point is about compassion. And that exactly maps to the third point of advice, which is Dayadhvam. Like how the Janakaha, or our universal father, is so compassionate to everybody, we must also practice the point of Dayadhvam. We must be compassionate to everyone else. So, Damyata Datta Dayadhvam Janataha. When that line comes in, it is basically a summary, a crisp summary of all that is explained above in these previous lines. And with that he says, if we follow all this, then Shreyo Bhuyat Sakala Jananam. All the people of the world will be happy and prosperous. Clearly, this one composition is good enough for us to understand that Mahaswami was beyond race, religion, caste and such other things. He was clearly the avatar of Lord Parameshwara, and his interest was to ensure that all his children come back to living in unity and are endowed with happiness, peace and prosperity always. Let us carry the message of Mahaswami far and wide. Let's make sure that this particular composition is brought to the notice of all others across the world with simple translations that we can provide. And let's even try to make it as part of our daily prayers itself. We don't have to necessarily sing it in a particular tune, but it will be good enough for us to just think about these lines, internalize it, and try to be a model citizen by following the advice that's given by Mahaswami. We will meet up again next week with yet another interesting episode of Karunasagaram. Now it's time for you to enjoy the original footage from the performance at UN by Dr. M.S. Subbulakshmi. Periva Sharanam.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to present the artist of the evening, Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi.
கான்செப்ட் அது சொல்றதுன்னா பெரியதான் போயிட்டு வான்னு சொன்னா போற இடம்லாம் ஜெயம்னு சொன்னா அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நான் பேப்பர்ல கூட வந்திருக்காது. அது பூரா கோஸ்ட் கோஸ்ட் போயிட்டோன்னு லாஸ்ட் யுனைடெட் நேஷன் வாஷிங்டன்ல பிகே நேரு இதுலதான் நான் இறங்கிருந்தேன். அது முதல் நாள் பாடினேன் கார்ல. மறுநாள் சாயங்காலம் நியூயார்க்ல ரிஹர்சல், மறுநாளைக்கு ஃபங்க்ஷன். நான் வந்து தொண்டை கட்டி போச்சு, கம்ப்ளீட்டா போயிடுது. பெரிய படத்தை வச்சுன்னு நீங்க நேரத்தோட வருவேன்னு சொன்னால இந்த மாதிரி தொண்டை கட்டிட்டு இவருக்கும் சொல்லல, வேறாட்டையும் சொல்லல, பேசாம அப்படி மனசு கஷ்டப்பட்டு வந்தேன். ரொம்ப பட்டு இருந்தது. காலம்பரை அவங்க கொஞ்சம் அந்த ஊர்ல புஷ்பம் கிடைச்சது, பெரியவா படத்தை வச்சு அர்ச்சனை பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தேன். ராதா வந்து டைம் ஆயிடுத்தோம்னா நீ சீக்கிரம் டைம் ஆகுது, ஹாலுக்கு போகணுமே, 3 o'clock தான் இங்கே இருக்கு. சரி ஏதோ ஜஸ்ட் வந்து போனேன். அப்போ ஒரே எல்லாம் நல்லதார கூட்டம் தான். நம்மள வாங்குறது சிடி நரசிம்மன், ஜி பார்த்தசாரதி, இவாதான் எங்க அக்காம்பனிமெண்ட்ஸ். போய் உட்கார காலெல்லாம் நடுங்கிறது. ஓன்னு சொன்னேன், அந்த குரல் வந்துருக்கு. அகில விஜேத்ரே மைத்ரீ भजत अखिल विजेत्रे मैत्री भजत अखिल विजेत्रे आत्मवदेव परानति पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानति पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत त्यजत परेश्वर क्रममाक्रमणं त्यजत परेश्वर क्रममाक्रमणं मैत्री
भजत अखिल जेते मैत्री भजत अखिल जेते जननी पृथ्वी काम दुखाते जननी पृथ्वी काम दुखाते जनको देवः सकल दयालु जनको देवः सकल दयालु दाम्यत दयध्वं जनता दाम्यत दयध्वं जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल
For an intensely spiritual personage like MS, the worldly acknowledgements of her sustained genius hardly matter. It's quite likely she's contented with blessings showered on her by the Paramacharya of Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham, the religious pontiff of millions, and others by whose teachings she molds her life.
पाणिं परं वन्देऽहं मम चन्द्रशेखर गुरुं शङ्करार्यं शिवम् கண்டியவர்க்கு அன்னையாய் கண்டவர்க்கு கண்ணனை போல் ஆசானாய் கண்டியவர்க்கு அன்னையாய் கண்டவர்க்கு கண்ணனை போல் ஆசானாய் அண்டம் புகழாண்டவனாய் விண்ணவரும் வியக்கும் வித்தகனாய் ஆண்டொரு நூறுக்கும் இவ்வகிலம் புகுந்த அண்ணனே அண்டினாய் பதனே ஆண்டரு எமதினமே ஆண்டொரு நூறுக்கும் இவ்வகிலம் புகுந்த அண்ணனே நிற்பதமே ஆண்டருள் எமதினமே.
பெரியவா சரணம்.